Hey guys, how's it going? So it's September. Once again, we're being told how we shouldn't look over the next few months. The new trends are coming out. As you can see from these pictures, it's a really grungy, kind of loose texture. Very natural look. If you're a bit scruffy like myself, then you'll be happy and you can rejoice because it's dead easy and you can say, you know, I am in fact a trendsetter, not just really lazy. So yeah, to get this look, we're going to need a hairdryer, a diffuser. This one's a diffuser from Wise Park. It's a soft diffuser. It's brilliant if you can get it. If you've not, and you're not sure what a diffuser is, looking at this, it's one of these. It's one of these hideous looking contraptions. Another way, if you've got wickedly straight hair, you can use a hair tong or a hair wand. I'm going to pimp my own video here. I've got a video tips how to use a wand. You should get a lot of mileage out of that over the next few months, because that will help you just to say if you've got wickedly straight hair, that'll help you just get a bit of texture. And what you want to do with the tong or the wand is tong or wand it and then just pull it down. So pull your fingers through your hair afterwards, so that the curl isn't so defined and it's just a bit looser. So yeah, you're going to need a diffuser, hairdryer, you're going to need some salt spray or some mousse. Now you can use either or. They'll both do the same sort of job. The salt spray you might find will just give you a little bit more texture, a little bit more grit. It'll kind of look a bit dirtier, whereas the mousse is going to be a bit shinier and might make the ends a bit kind of, if you've got kind of tend to get frizzy hair, you might want to go for a mousse as opposed to a salt spray. If you kind of got a lot of hair, you might want to go for a salt spray because that will really kind of whoosh up the volume, because I tend to find that salt sprays are very good for kind of giving you a lot of grit and volume, whereas mousses, they'll hold the kind of wave and the texture that we want, but it won't give you so much volume and so much grit that the salt spray will do. Today I'm going to use maybe a bit of both, just to show you. I'm also going to talk you through some tips. So if you look at some of these hairstyles, you can see that it's basically just loose. I mean, one way of doing this is just natural drying, and they do have like quite defined partings as well, and that's kind of a thing of it, because the way we're going to be drying the hair, we're going to be taking the weight off of the hair. So first of all, we want to define the parting. So I'm going to quickly show how we're going to do that. I'm not going to do it on her today because she's the way the hair is pinned into the head doesn't really work, but I'll show you how to do it, just give you a tip how to define your parting before we start the rest of the hair. Okay, so we're going to start with the hair wet. Now, here's a quick tip. Because we're not going to be using a brush to dry the hair, we're not going to be putting any tension on the hair, we're not going to be pulling the hair. So we have to be very careful with things like dents from clips and things like that, because we're not going to be able to pull them out later. So if you want to define your parting, here's a tip. Now, you want to get some kitchen roll. Essentially, start with a couple of sheets of kitchen roll, fold them up so you've got a sheet like that. So you've got that. Now you can use anything for this, like cotton pads, things like that, but I assume everyone's got some kitchen roll at home, so that's how we're going to be doing it. Use your kitchen roll. Now, take, say you want the parting down the centre, so we've got a centre parting here. Say I'm not actually going to do this on her because it won't really work because she's not real, but so I don't need to be too worried. But take your parting down the centre and then grab the hair, then pull it up and just get it so you've got a section that's about an inch and a half, 2 inches deep, so that, because what we're trying to do is we just want to define that parting, and then wrap the hair in the paper, and then hold it down, and then with your pin, just pin the hair like that, and then do the same on the other side. Place the hair into the paper, fold it over, and then when you pull it down, make sure you pull it quite tight, because what we're trying to do is define this parting. So pull it quite tight and then give it a pin, and then we've pinned it up either side, and all that's going to do is this paper is going to help, it's going to stop the pins putting lines into the hair, so that's just going to act as a kind of pad to stop it. Now this parting's quite tight, so we can go ahead, we can dry it, say with your hairdryer, you can give it a dry, and all that'll do, that will really define that parting. But when you're drying it, make sure you're only drying on the parting, because that's all we're trying to do, is just dry that parting nice and tight, so nice and tightly into the hair. Big part of this is that because we're not using any brushes to pull, it's all going to be quite loose and messy, so the parting won't be very defined unless we do this. It's up to you, to be honest. Some people might not want a defined parting. If you don't want a defined parting, just skip this bit. If you do want a defined parting, here's a good tip on how to do that. Okay, so now we're going to get to actually doing the hair. So first things first, you want to just put your parting in where you got it. Either do it, say like define it first, like I just showed you, or don't. Just comb it in with the wet hair. We don't have to worry about sectioning or anything like that. There's nearly no sectioning today. It's all just going to be pretty much freehand. And then we get to the products. So either say a bit of mousse or a bit of salt spray. Mousse, I assume everyone knows how to use mousse. You just kind of a little smidger in your hand, and then just kind of run it through the hair. Just run it through with your fingers, and then just pull it through. Get it sort of anywhere you want, really. The idea is you just get it onto the hair, and then you just using your fingers like so, and then just sort of pull your fingers through the hair like that, and then that just kind of like runs the product all the way through the hair. And also it helps to kind of, you're already kind of, by dividing the hair in your fingers, you're already kind of getting that definition in the hair and kind of chunking it up a bit, which is what we're kind of going to be going for with this look. If you're going to use salt spray, I shouldn't really use them both, but I'm going to just to show you. If you're going to use salt spray again on the wet hair, just spray it on and just pull it through, and it's the same difference really, just pulling it through the hair and defining it, and then that's about it. Now we start with the drying. Now when you're drying with a diffuser, the idea is that you're taking the weight off the hair, and that's how we get that, it gets that natural curl. It's a bit like leaving it to naturally dry, but faster. Now, one thing I should mention, if you're going to be using a diffuser, it's going to take you about an extra 10 minutes to dry your hair. So bear that in mind for your planning, because it does dry slower, the airflow is softer. So yeah, essentially we're just going to be taking the weight off the hair. So we want to be drying upwards, can dry downwards as well, but in general, we want to try and be drying either from the sides or from the bottom. And whilst we do that, we lift the hair up at the roots, and so we can just take the weight off of the hair. Essentially, we just want to take the weight off the hair and let it dry, so it dries in a kind of natural texture. So I'm going to do that now. I'll probably speed the video up, but I'll stop it if I come across anything. One tip I'll say right at the start, actually, if you do want to just get, like, every now and again, just put some bits in, you can pull like a piece out. This look is not, we don't have to worry about sections and stuff, it's not precise. So if you do want to just chuck in a little bit of an extra wave, you can just get a piece of hair like that and just curl it around your finger, and then get it so it's all like that, and then just drop it down and dry it like that. And it looks horrible there, but when it's dry, it will just give like extra pieces of curls throughout. So I'm going to get on and dry that now. Yeah, and this is how you do it. To point out, we're just using our fingers just to lift in the roots, like get your fingers under your hair and just lift at the roots, and not really lift and pull, but just kind of gently lift it up at the roots, and that just gives it a little bit of extra volume. That just helps to get the volume into the hair. So that's pretty much that. I mean, her hair doesn't respond too well to products, but I mean, that's pretty much it. You just do that. You just get a nice kind of loose, grungy vibe. You just get kind of loose waves. It's kind of like natural drying, but just speeding up the process. If you want to zhuzh it up a bit, you can either get a shoelace, I've got here, or you can buy bands for this properly, and just kind of give it that kind of boho vibe, just tie it up. That's pretty much in at the moment. Or you can work with like a kind of half up, half down kind of thing, and wear it like kind of back a little bit. As long as keep that kind of, you can do it what you want. I mean, the kind of core of this look is just a kind of loose, grungy texture, natural texture. And that's really, as long as you've dried it this way, you're going to have achieved that. And then you can kind of play with it as you like and you know, put your own little twist on it. So yeah, it's pretty much that. Okay, so I hope that helped us all decide what we're going to do for the next 3 or 4 months of the year until we're told again what we should be doing. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe. I'm getting really near 500 subscribers now, which is not many for a lot of people, but for me, it's like that was my goal when I started this. So like, it's fantastic. Thanks for watching. I hope it helped. Cheers.